Get stuff set up this morning. Get going. Thank you for the raid, Olive, over there. Parker's! Okay, let's see. Get this going. One, just always on the clock, Parker's. Just, and next! Just never ending. Okay, let's try this. See how it goes. Good morning, everybody. Let's do all the good things, please. So about them X-Men. Hi, Peter. If you're coming in on YouTube, if you could hit that thumbs up as you're coming in, I would appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I keep seeing clips of it. Dracul. It was something. '66th. Y'all got yeeted. Welcome in, X-Men Nerd Raiders. Oops, didn't mean to do that. It is. I'm messing around with stuff. I was yeeted. 5 minutes early. Like 3 minutes earlier than you usually do. Good morning, good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. It's Titties Out Tuesday. So we got to do the thing. So I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure, if we are on TikTok, that we're doing all of the good things. Let's tap that screen, share the live out, do your daily heart me if you have not done so. I would appreciate it so very much. You guys knocked out the roses, so I need to put up something else. Kelly, I've got you in just a second. I will check that. Thank you so much. You can share it, you can repost it, you can add it to your story, you can share it to like 5 of your friends. So make sure we're getting out there. I am also multi-streaming, so if you are on YouTube, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. I would appreciate it. And then over there on Twitch, hello lovelies, I see you over there, my lovely little Twitch space. I see you've had like an invader last last week and then yesterday, so I'm sorry. Thank you. But you can, on YouTube, you can subscribe or you can become a member. You can also send super chats. Sometimes when the live chat's going too fast and I miss your message, it is an easier way for me to see your message. Or if you would just like to help contribute, you can do that. Also on Twitch, you can follow or you can subscribe over there. I have stickers for you. You can send bits, fun little things over there. If you pay for Prime, you get 1 free Prime sub a month. If you would like to use that to subscribe to me, that's also awesome. You can do that. Do remember, though, that TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube all take a decent portion of profits of anything that you send, which is why we would rather support with my 100 goal that I have every single day with the Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal in the link trees in my bio. Speaking of, let me make sure that I check this. Thank you so much. W's, please. Huge, huge, huge W's. Oh, my God. To Kelly for the 8837. Keep up the great work and slay, girl. Tits Out Tuesday. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate you so much. Great way to start off fucking Titties Out Tuesday. Except you tortured me with change, which I understand, but like, why do you torture me with math? That's the right amount, right? Yeah, I can do math. I'm like, why? Okay, now I gotta find my little thing. I can do it. Why do you guys hate me with decimal points? Convinced. Also, yes, I have a new setup. I think I will have to mess with it. So after I send you guys off on your raid in a couple of hours, I will probably stay live for just a minute to try to resize it. I actually like it on the bottom. I don't give a fuck if the comments are over me. That doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care. I want it to be a little bigger. I didn't like how small it was. It looked a little cluttered. I think this is a lot more organized, but I think I need to increase the size just a tad. Like it needs to go up to here a little bit. I think I still have enough room for that. So I'll probably mess with that after I send you guys on a raid, but other than that, I'm not worried about it. Okay, we did that one. Let's do this one. We can get our day started. Oh, God.
Hello?
Hi, how are you today?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can I get your age, your state, and who you voted for?
32, DC. I voted for Donald Trump.
Okay, why are you still supporting Trump?
Because he's the best president we've ever had, obviously.
In what way?
Several ways. I just heard something yesterday about he's using the DOJ to investigate some of these Indian companies, which is great because these Indians, they only hire other Indians and they need to lead a country.
That helps America. How? I know who
It
it is,
does.
Peabody.
It does help America because we're not India. Because we're not India. So when you only hire your own people in a company, this is why we need more white people because white people hire everybody. White people hire everybody.
How does hiring people of any ethnicity, what does
It's
that
called
matter?
No, they're hiring people of their own ethnicity.
And what does that do for the American economy?
Yeah, that's called that's discrimination.
It's not.
Oh, it is. So people can
You would have
only
to
hire
show me
people of
where.
their own.
If they're only hiring,
Yeah,
yes, which we have laws to prevent
that's
that.
what
Can you show me that?
Well,
That's
that's why they're
happening?
Go look up the investigation.
No, you can go ahead and give
Smarty
me that.
pants. You too lazy to read it. Go look it up,
You can go ahead
smarty
and find me
pants.
that article. It's fine.
Okay, it's not an article. It's an investigation. It's an open
There
investigation.
would be an article on the open
Yeah.
investigation or a
Okay. I gotta do
DOJ
your
on the
homework. I gotta
it's
do your
your homework
homework for you.
actually. It's your
No,
homework
it's not.
actually.
I voted.
If
We
you're
won.
claiming
You're mad. You're
you
the one
won a
that's
lot.
mad.
Yeah, you guys won a
We
lot of
did.
things. Hmm.
We did.
So it would be an article about the investigation,
Yeah.
is what it would
You
be.
didn't know about it, did you?
No, I didn't. I can admit that.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's what happens when you watch Yellowstone all night and drink white wine
Who
instead
still
of doing your
watches
research.
Yellowstone?
Yeah. It's what happens when you get ready for your Pilates class and washing your
Oh,
Stanley Cup out.
Pilates.
Yeah.
No, I do leg day,
Yeah.
baby. I could probably
I'm
crush it with
sure.
my thighs.
I'm
So you
sure.
have to
I'm
pay for
sure.
that. Yeah.
I'm
So
sure.
if you could give me the
You're
article on
not
that
attractive enough
investigation,
to
I
be
would
one
love
of those
to.
women.
That's
That's why
I'm
you're talking
not looking to
politics.
be attractive to you, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
no, that's why you're
If
talking
you could give me
politics.
that article name
Because if you
with
were an
the
attractive woman,
investigation
you
in
wouldn't
it,
be
I would
arguing
love to
about
see
politics.
it.
Usually it's the women
So
that aren't
anyway,
attractive
the
enough to do
article
OnlyFans.
name with the investigation in it. That would be
So
great.
shouts out to Trump for investigating these Indian companies that are only
I
trying to
would love to
hire
see that they're
Indians.
doing
These
that. Go ahead
H-1B
and
visas,
go ahead and
these
find me that.
H-1B visas out here who are trying
Hmm.
to hire Americans.
H-1B
So yeah,
visas, or that's
yeah.
him trying to shorten, or not shorten, what do you say? Decrease the amount that we give
Mm.
out. I don't really necessarily have any issue with that, to be honest. But again,
Okay,
I'm looking for
so
an
then you don't have
article
a
on an
problem with it.
investigation.
Oh, okay. So then you don't have a problem with him investigating these companies then.
I
That's
would like to
great.
see where this
So
investigation
now
is happening.
she's pro Trump now. Wow,
No,
that's great.
absolutely not. I
Oh,
like
that's great. I'm
reform.
glad.
I like regulation.
I'm
I don't have
glad.
any issue with that. But again, I would
Okay.
like to see an article on this. An article on this
Do
investigation.
you have
That would
a
be
laptop?
nice. I have 3 screens in front of me. I'm ready.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you actually, is your internet working?
Mm-hmm.
So
go
there's
ahead.
this website called Google out there. I don't know if you heard about it. You can
Yeah.
actually
Can
just
you
look
give
it
me the
up.
actual article? I'm not going to do
I have
your
to
work
get now.
for
I have to
you.
give it. No. You are gonna do the. You need us here. You need.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna use part of Kelly's for that. Is what we're gonna do, because I hate disingenuity. Like, I can't stand you being disingenuous. That shit drives me up the fucking bonkers cuckoo wall. I am fine with looking up an investigation. Show me it's there, Blue. Here you go, Blue.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
Yikes on bikes. Okay. W's to Shauna. By the way, Shauna finished out the rest of the goal. Thank you for the $12. So W's to Shauna. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yikes on bikes. This really is not that difficult. It's really, really not. Jeez. Okay. Let me turn this on. We can get our day started here. Maybe. If they don't keep crashing out on life. We'll see if we can get through our outline. I did want to start with this. First off, real quick though, thank you again. I want to thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Shauna. Thank you so much for completing out my goal today. Fucking barely been on. I appreciate that so much. I was gonna tell this story because they love to talk about Snap and fraud within Snap, and that Snap isn't doing its job. Let's talk about it. So, as my community knows, and especially my close friends know, my family had been receiving SNAP for a decent amount of time. And then we refiled in, because you have to every 6 months. We refiled in December, and we hadn't heard anything until, because that was January, February, March. We still hadn't heard anything. No, it was in the middle of March. They said that we just didn't qualify. And we said, okay. That sucks, but it is what it is. So we're paying for groceries out of pocket, right? Okay. And we decided we were going to reapply because we're like, you know what? What's the worst they can do? You know, the finances changed a little bit. What's the worst they can do is just say no again. So we reapplied again. My husband called today to find out if somebody's actually working on the application, which they said, yes, they are. But they said, hey, you have an outstanding balance with us. And we said, what? And they said that in the months of November and December, they had overpaid us, which is interesting because I even talked to you guys. I remember talking to you guys that when we got the amount that we had got, we called them because we were like, are you fucking sure this is right? They said it was right at the time, but that they overpaid us about a little over $70 in November and a little over $70 in December. So, yes, somebody is working on our application, but we needed to pay that money back. And so that's what my husband went to do today, is to drive to pay that money back. So the system works. I'm so glad that we were right the whole time, that the system fines when there's overpayments or underpayments in the system. I'm glad we could get there. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
29, Kentucky, Trump. If you want to, you can finish that story.
That was it.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
I would say I'm supporting like particular policies. I'm not like a full blown like one way or the other.
No, that's fair. What policy of his do you support?
Are you looking to have like a discussion on one of them or what?
I usually just
Like,
like to start
I'd
with
rather
one
you
because
have
it's hard to
one
do
that
a
you
list
disagree
of.
with. Right. I'd rather you just pick one you disagree with, and then.
Well, I don't
we'll see
know.
if we
I don't
agree
know
or
if
we
I
don't
disagree
agree.
with it because you haven't said what one is.
I said I wanted you to pick one that you disagree with.
You can't
so
pick
we
one
could
that
have a
you
conversation.
can't pick one you support. I have to give you the ones that he has done.
Okay, sure. I think the Iran war is good.
Why?
Because of the circumstances that led to us going into it.
Like what?
The Iranians stated themselves they were creating ballistic missiles more than we can create interceptors, and then they were going to use this as kind of a shield to allow them to produce a nuclear weapon.
They said that they were going to use that as a shield?
Pretty much as a deterrent.
They said they were going to use the
prevent us
missiles
from
as a
stopping
shield while they built up their nuclear weaponry.
A deterrent. The ballistic missiles would be a deterrent.
While they built up their nuclear
While
weaponry.
they produce.
Sure. Can you find me
Well,
where the
build a
leadership...
nuclear weapon.
Sure. Can you find me where the leadership in Iran said that?
Sure. Give me a moment.
Sure. Guys, while we're here, just make sure we are tapping that screen. You guys are doing a great job filling out that like bar, so I appreciate it. Thank you. I will have to shift everything, too, because when there's a guest in the box, I move.
Sorry, I'm late.
No, you're fine.
I was dealing with bullshit, so since you guys knocked out Monty's goal, I dealt with shit with he who shall not be named. So if you guys want to give me extra love, links are in the bio. You're obligated.
As I said, we just had to pay $140 to Snap, so...
I put probably one of the largest things on there. So if you guys want help, links are in the bio.
Yeah.
Don't want to sound like I'm drifting. I'll message you, Ari.
Let's see. I have a New York Times article here. Is that a good enough source for you?
Yeah, I'll have to type it in and probably put it into paywall, but that's totally fine. So New York Times, what's the title?
Title is For Iran's Rulers Refusing U.S. Demands is a Risk Worth Taking. I can give you the...
Can you repeat
It's
that
written
for
by
me? Because it was
Erica
my
Solomon.
brain got distracted whether it was
Yeah, go
for
ahead.
like the number or for like FOR. So.
FOR.
Okay.
Iran's Rulers Refusing U.S. Demands is a Risk Worth Taking.
All right. Let me take that.
It was written by Erica Solomon.
Yeah. Let's see if it's going to let me read it or if it's going to paywall me. Nope. I think this gets my free one for the month, so we might be okay. So in this article, where does it say that Iran said that they're using it as a deterrent while they build up their nuclear stockpile?
Give me one moment to find you exactly where. So you probably control F and search it. 1 second.
Because the only person I've heard say this is Pete Hexa.
I see. I would say probably the article is then going to refer back to, let's see. I'm not sure if it has an exact like Iranian quote of them saying.
Well, that's
I know
the thing,
they've said
though, right?
things like
Like,
we're not going to
if
give up our ballistic missile.
sure, but I wouldn't
Go ahead.
expect them to because they are a country that has defense. I wouldn't expect them to give up their ballistic missiles. I would say we have to watch them, obviously. But the problem is that saying that it is saying that they are saying they are using it as a deterrent while they build up nuclear weaponry is not something they've ever said, not something I've ever seen them ever say.
I'll be honest with you. I really can't give you an article. I've seen ex posts from Iranian officials who are now not with us anymore, who had said that that's what they were going to be doing. They were going to be producing because I can't remember what the number was. It was in the 20s, 20 something ballistic missiles a day, and then we could produce. I think it was something around 6 interceptors. It was less than 10.
Sure, yeah, it
Interceptors
takes
a
us
day,
a
and
while.
then they
It
would
takes us a
produce-
while to produce the interceptors versus the missiles
Right,
and even like
right,
the drones
It's
that
a lot
they
more
use.
complicated to intercept
Sure,
the missiles.
sure.
Yeah. And so from what I understand, and I can be wrong, not infallible here, that they were producing more ballistic missiles than we had interceptors,
Sure.
and that was going to be kind of a deterrent to keep us from stopping the nuclear program. And of course, they've been wanting the nuclear program for a long time. It's been like their public policy.
A nuclear
That they
program
wanted
or
a nuke.
sure, a nuclear program or a nuclear weapon.
I was using interchangeably, so nuclear weapon.
Well, those are two different things, and that's not true. We have not seen that. We saw that they followed the JCPOA when they were under
Are
it.
you sure the Iran hasn't publicly stated they wanted a nuclear weapon?
No.
Because I'm almost
Yeah, I'm
100
sure.
on that.
No, because specifically the
Okay, give me a
Ayatollah,
second.
the Ayatollah who is now dead, specifically had a religious fatwa, not allowing them to create a nuclear weapon.
I've heard that, but fatwas can be ignored. I'm well
Is
versed
he a
on
is he a
Shia.
was he a dictatorship leader or
But so fatwas are based on
religious doctrine?
like circumstance.
Theocracy.
Well,
No.
it is a religious doctrine, but even the practitioners would say religion. Fatwas are based on circumstance. If circumstance changes, they can ignore the fatwa. And circumstance
And did the
change,
circumstance
so they were ignoring the fatwa.
where were they ignoring the fatwa?
They were making a nuclear weapon
Where?
in Iran.
Where's the proof of that? Where's the intel of that?
Do you want me to give you the region of where they were making
I would
it?
like to have our US intel that said that they were doing that.
Would
'Cause
you
Pete
accept
Hegseth
them
doesn't even
claiming that
say
they were
that.
doing it?
Would I claim they were doing it?
No. I said, would you accept them themselves claiming they would do this?
Sure. And what I'll say is
Okay, give me one.
I'm not saying that they necessarily weren't. I think it's dumb that Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA. But they weren't close,
I've heard
not
that.
according to our intel. And I understand, I'm not saying, before YouTube chat gets mad, I'm not saying I want Iran to have one. I understand why they would want one, so that Israel can leave them
Right.
the fuck alone.
Not necessarily.
Mm.
If you
It's a
understand
deterrent, right?
Shia Islam. No, it's definitely not a deterrent. If you understand
A nuclear
Shia
weapon
Islam,
is not a deterrent?
you would understand. Not if it's used.
Why
So,
is everybody under this assumption that they would use it? What would happen immediately after they used one?
Because of Shia Islam. Because of
No.
Shia Islam.
No,
So
That's
they
silly.
believe, huh?
that's silly.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's a silly idea they have, but it's not silly. That's what they would do.
So is radical Christianity. Like, all religions are ridiculous. And
No,
they're
no,
trying to
you-
implement that here.
It's literally it's doctrine that they need to use it.
No, it's
Do you want
not.
me to explain
No,
it to
it's
you, or do
not.
you want
Go
to call
ahead.
it silly?
You can go ahead. Try and explain it. It's not, but sure.
Okay. Shia Islam believes that to bring forth the ultimate imam, the one that's going to lead them to conquering the world, they are required to create chaos, because chaos is the indicator
Where's
of the
that in the
ultimate
Quran?
imam. Do you want me to give that to you as well? Oh,
Yep,
give me a moment.
because I hear this a lot.
You do? Wow.
Yeah, but it's never cited.
You acted confused, so I thought you didn't know about it.
I've heard it. It does not mean that it has been cited as being factual. By the way, guys, I just Googled, is there Islamic doctrine to cause chaos? Not finding anything.
That's the same thing I'm finding. Also going to the fatwa and stuff like that. There has to be certain things in order for them to quote unquote ignore it. But there has been no
Do you
recent of
want
them.
a Quran verse or one of the other books?
Let's start with a verse from the Quran, and then we can look at the other books if we want.
Okay.
I feel like I should be playing music. Where's
I mean, I
Erica's
could-
hospital waiting room music?
I could sit here and just bitch and moan or make my own Cisco song. But you guys also give support.
Honestly, I
You
could
can still,
just
you
give you
guys
the
can
Wiki
still
Shia link
donate.
if you'd like.
Use the what?
That might be easier to go through them all. Wiki Shia, all one word, Wikishia.
Okay.
And then it would be the list of Quranic verses about Imam al-Mahdi.
So, verses about what?
Imam al-Mahdi. Give me a second. I've lost it now.
We're citing Wikipedia now. Is it their version of Revelations?
What is?
This Imam al-Mahdi?
Mm.
Is it their version of Revelations?
If you just want to look up the 12th Imam, that would help.
The 12 Imam?
The 12th,
Okay.
the number
Those are.
12th.
What is an imam? First off,
It would be basically the religious head.
right? It's a religious position. How does this lead to chaos? Where is their source?
So,
Again, here's the thing,
the
though.
12th Imam is
Even then, I'm not finding whatever page you're looking for. I would need verses from the Quran, which is their religious book, telling them that their sole goal is to create chaos.
Nothing.
well, they believe. Okay, so the verse speaks to the
Which
indicator of the. Okay, give me a moment. I'm trying to find it for you. It's not very easy. I'm kind of VPN lost here.
Because it's not real.
Give me a
It's
moment.
not real. It's not a core belief for them to cause chaos and death.
Well,
No.
death isn't necessary, but the chaos would be. And the ultimate form of chaos would be a nuclear weapon going off.
There's
No,
nothing in
that's
the
your
Because that's the
interpretation.
belief
But that's your
of the
interpretation. And again,
IRGC.
that is based off. Hold on. That is your interpretation, which again is based off an idea you have yet to prove.
Okay, yeah, I'm working on it. Give me a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But isn't Islam known as the religion of peace?
Sure. I mean, I
Well,
would say most religions are like meant to be peaceful
Well,
in
but
nature, but
no, but it wasn't that like one of the things like they call like a religion of
Apologies for
peace or
not.
something
I wasn't
along
ready
those
for
lines.
uh, the whole Shia religious debate. I thought people knew that. Okay.
right, that's the problem, right? Is this idea of common sense that everybody knows that. Everybody can know something that's absolutely wrong. If you're sitting in a circle of flat earthers, they all know that the earth is
Yeah.
flat when it's not flat. So it's just stuff that people repeat without ever actually looking it up. That's the problem I have.
I mean, I've looked it up. It's just, I don't have it like in a folder.
I think it would be pretty easy to find if it is the core principle of their religion to cause chaos. It should be pretty easy to find in multiple verses.
I wouldn't say. I mean, I don't think they're core principle, but it would be the motivator behind this.
That would be a pretty core principle if it's the motivator behind their religion.
Not the whole religion. The whole religion's, submission to Allah. That's the core principle.
Oh, right, like any religion, to God. Now, did Iran do nuclear enrichment? Sure. But
Yes.
this idea that even if they got a nuclear weapon, that they're automatically going to use it, I find no evidence for.
I see.
Eli, the goalpost.
Okay.
Also, Michael, I'm not the one talking. That's the caller. I've been on mute this whole time.
Her box will light up when she talks.
Yeah. It's not me. Also, Rick, we stoned people in the Bible.
Well, because what people don't like is that Islam and Christianity are like these.
And it's most Abrahamic religions are very similar.
The God of Abraham.
Yep. Yeah, no, Michael, it's not me. Even though I've never read the Quran, I do know that most religions do not want to proclaim, death.
I mean, you've got Mike Johnson checking out the red heifers to try to bring on Revelations.
Would you prefer I go ahead and head out and then come back whenever I find
Fine,
it?
Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you being civil and actually willing
I'd
to
rather
look up your
save
claims.
you time.
No, absolutely. No problem. At least he was civil. I'll take that.
Over a book he didn't read, though.
I mean, I didn't read the book either, but I've seen no proof that, like, there is scripture in there about causing chaos.
Blue put something in live chat.
What did you ask, Gemini? Gemini verdict. Sociological hallucination. The short version. Claiming a religion of 2 billion people has a core principle of chaos is like claiming the core principle of gravity is to make sure you lose your car keys. It's not just a lie, it's a total abandonment of literacy.
I don't know. I think
Thank you,
gravity's
Gemini.
purpose is to make you lose your keys and drop everything.
It's to embarrass me and make me fall is what it's meant to do. Which we
Also,
appreciate.
194 people. Let's keep booping, sharing, do all the wonderful things, stay engaged. Make sure you guys are in the comment sections. If there are Trump supporters over here on TikTok that want to have a conversation, call that number on your screen. You are not welcome up.
You are not welcome up. It is more dangerous for the platform now when I don't know why, but
At this point, I mean, I get more flags from friendlies than I do actual opposition stuff.
All right. It's 10:30. You guys are at 38,000 likes. You're doing fucking wonderful. Thank you so much. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up for me. It really does help, even if you hate me. It's fine. See, look, I can have decent conversations and not yell. I know you guys just claim that I can't, and then I mute. I didn't have to mute him at all. He was willing. We disagree, and he's willing to look up his sources and have a conversation. Not any kind of issue here. Okay, but we are going to move on. The only piece of news that I have today, I think is important because, again, we went over the fact that Donald Trump has said that he has the money in hand for the ballroom, right? The only thing that's stopping him is the courts, and the courts are stopping him because they said you need congressional approval, which if he has the mandate he says he has, he should be able to get with Congress, right? Okay. But he has the money in hand. No, you United States taxpayer dollars should be spent on this because I have the money from private donors. So stop complaining. That's what you all said. Stop complaining. Well, that's interesting. So the bill to fund TSA, Coast Guard, CISA went through finally. It was a Senate unanimous consent bill in the Senate, meaning every single senator voted for it. Mike Johnson sat on his hands for 3 weeks and refused to bring it to the floor. He finally did. That passed. The whole point of this was the Republican plan was to pass this with the Democrats and then to do a reconciliation bill where you do not need 60 votes to pass it. And do a reconciliation bill for CBP and ICE. That was their plan. So this is a page from their proposal. I think Chuck Grassley is the one who proposed this, okay? This is a page from that proposal. Yes, there's billions of dollars for CBP through 2029. There's billions of dollars for ICE, all things that we can critique and talk about. However, United States Secret Service appropriation. In addition to amounts otherwise available, there is appropriated to the United States Secret Service for fiscal year 2026 out of any money in the Treasury not otherwise appropriated $1 billion to remain available until September 30th of 2029 for the purposes of security adjustments and upgrades, including within the perimeter fence of the White House compound to support enhancements by the United States Secret Service relating to the East Wing Modernization Project, including above ground and below ground security features. I thought he had $300 million, it started out $200 million, $250 million, $300 million, $400 million. I thought he had $400 million of private donations set up to do the East Wing project of the White House. Why are the Republicans now putting in to spend $1 billion of taxpayer money on it? Where'd that $400 million go? Where'd that $400 million go? Herp derp, you're sure I met a peaceful Muslim once? That's weird. Yeah, there's a lot of peaceful Muslims. It's a religion of 2 billion people. We also have a close friend in the community who is. That's fucking weird, bro. He lied to you. They lied to you. No facts. It's literally right here in front of your face. You okay? Why are you guys okay with that? Where did that $400 million go? Oh, I agree, Medusa. It absolutely. It either never existed in the first place and he lied, or he put it in his pocket. Either one. Thank you, Oya. I will look at that and read it later. Oya sent me sources on Islam and on the meaning of Iman. Thank you. What's going on in my chat? Why are you guys okay with him lying to you? None of you have said that. Oh no, a politician lies? Yes, but you should be worried about that because for weeks, y'all have been coming in here and telling me that, why are you complaining about it? It's privately funded. Why are you complaining about it? We're not paying for it. Why are you complaining? Because he lies. Because he fucking lies. That's why. Okay, I wanted to take the time to play this. It's going to take some time, but I think it's worth it. So SCOTUS, let's go to the story first, because as you all saw, SCOTUS gutted parts of the Voting Rights Act, right? And then we saw that yesterday the U.S. Supreme Court lets Voting Rights Act ruling take effect ahead of schedule, so they're pushing it faster. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday allowed a ruling that gutted a key part of the Voting Rights Act to take effect ahead of schedule, bolstering Louisiana Republicans as they pursue a new congressional voting map ahead of the November midterm elections. The action by the justices, though procedural, is likely to undercut legal challenges to Louisiana Republicans' decision to delay the state's congressional primary elections and seek a new electoral map that could be beneficial to Republicans. President Donald Trump's fellow Republicans are fighting to maintain their control of the House as well as the Senate in the November elections. The court's move, which came in an unsigned order, granted a request from a group of Louisiana voters who described themselves in court papers as non-African American. Their lawsuit led to a 6-3 ruling on April 29, striking down an electoral map that had given Louisiana a second black majority U.S. congressional district. The ruling gutted a key provision of the Voting Rights Act that had barred electoral maps if they would result in diluting the clout of minority voters. So you had this case, and then we also had the case, I don't have the headline for it, but we talked about it yesterday, of allowing mifepristone to still go through the mail. So what I wanted to do is Pod Save America, literally the one from this morning, had what I thought was a great conversation with Melissa Murray from Strict Scrutiny. Okay, they go over judicial cases, and I thought that she did great explanations and warnings
Mother's Day
in regards to what we should expect, what this means, and things like that in regards to that. So I wanted to play that. It is about a 30-minute interview. So like I said, it's going to take time. So make sure we are still doing those good things. Make sure we are still tapping the screen. Guys, remember, you can still send donos. Thank you so much to Kelly and Shauna for knocking out my goal today, but you can still send donos to me. You can send donos to Olive. The links are in the link tree in her bio. We all still have expenses. This is my job. This is how I pay my bills. Just because I got my goal doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. I'm still going to do my job. So make sure we are still supporting, specifically with taps. Let's try to get to that 100,000 likes as fast as we can. And we'll get started with this. I'm going to mute it for a second while they do their ad. And then, because I don't want to go like too far. Okay, let's see. All right, there we go. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Congrats on your new book.
Thank you. It's going to be coming out on Cinco de Mayo. I think the best thing to do to celebrate is to pour salt all over it, lick it, maybe do some body shots. I don't know. What do you think?
People will be hearing this on Tuesday on Cinco de Mayo, and I'm going to be doing that then. That's why I'm going to grab my copy.
Taco Tuesday, Taco President, Cinco de Mayo.
Which, by the way, Republicans, this day is not for you. Just so you know. No tacos for you.
Oh, this is perfect.
The book is The U.S. Constitution, a comprehensive and annotated guide for the modern reader. I want to ask you a few questions about that. But first, just want to start with a little legal news, specifically the latest legal news on mifepristone, the abortion medication responsible for about 65% of abortions in the U.S. Can you walk us through both what the Fifth Circuit ruled on Friday in the Louisiana versus FDA case and what the Supreme Court did on Monday?
Sure. So let me roll back a little bit. Some of your listeners will remember, and if they're Strict Scrutiny listeners, they'll definitely remember that there was a case a few terms ago in the court called FDA versus the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine. And I had such a hard time with the name of this case because I kept saying hypocritical medicine. It's something of a Freudian slip
I was going to say, yeah.
Right. So these are a group of pro-life doctors that were challenging the FDA's approval of mifepristone. And that case was argued before the Supreme Court. The court, in an unexpected decision in advance of the 2024 election, said that there was no jurisdiction to hear the case because the doctors who were part of the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine lacked standing, which is to say that their professed injuries because of the FDA's approval of mifepristone were too attenuated to actually sustain federal court jurisdiction. So the case was thrown out, although the court obviously didn't answer important questions regarding the FDA's approval of mifepristone, its authority to approve mifepristone, nor did it weigh in on the absolute like ridiculousness of some of the claims that the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine were making. In any event, a new group filed a lawsuit, this time in Louisiana. That was honestly the biggest surprise, that they didn't go back to Amarillo and Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk to file this case. They instead filed it in Louisiana. And last Friday, the Fifth Circuit issued a decision on the case where they effectively issued a nationwide ban on mifepristone, basically saying that the FDA had not done what it needed to do in approving it, and that there were questions regarding the FDA's approval of mifepristone that required staying the distribution of the
Tree, you said there's a book for my fireplace. Just so you know, go ahead and do that, because she would still get the proceeds of you buying it. It was kind of like when you guys bought the beer and then destroyed the beer. They already have your money. It doesn't matter what you choose to do with your property after you buy it.
telehealth aspects of the protocols for distributing mifepristone. So I just want to emphasize, like, the Fifth Circuit did this, but they got a real assist from the Trump administration. So the Trump administration has been at great pains to stay out of abortion, likely because they recognize it's a really bad issue for them. The
Right.
whole idea of women dying in parking lots doesn't sell well, even in the red states. So the administration has been pretty hands off on abortion and reproductive rights. But the FDA, under Secretary Bear Juice, aka RFK Jr., has been making some statements about mifepristone. Though, for example, they've challenged or questioned whether the FDA's approval of mifepristone was appropriate. They've challenged or said that some of the requirements for distributing mifepristone via telehealth or through the mails should be questioned or re-examined. So in making those kinds of statements and concessions about the efficacy and safety of mifepristone, the administration basically laid the groundwork for the Fifth Circuit. And indeed, the Fifth Circuit cited many of these statements from administration officials at the FDA in making its decision. So they relied on those statements. So this wasn't issued by the Trump administration. They didn't put a ban on mifepristone, but they certainly gave the Fifth Circuit a glide path for doing so.
Mm.
So the Fifth Circuit the Fifth Circuit basically had this nationwide ban that went into effect on Friday. They issued it at around 4:00 Central Time, 5:00 in the East, and it is a nationwide ban. And on Monday, the Supreme Court, through the circuit justice who is assigned to the Fifth Circuit, like, this is Justice Alito, so interesting.
Yeah.
He stayed the ruling. This is obviously important because a stay means that mifepristone is now available again on a nationwide basis. But one of the things that our friend of the pod, Steve,
So that was actually interesting. I thought it was funny that Alito had to be the one to sign it, right? So what he did is he signed a stay on the block. So he's saying people can still order it while the lower courts figure out the case, is pretty much what they said. I just thought it was, chef's kiss that Alito was the one who signed that order. But
Vladeck noted in his Substack and on Blue Sky is that Justice Alito will issue stays in cases that come to him on an emergency basis. But in cases where he's more sympathetic to the causes, the stays are usually indefinite. For cases where he's not particularly sympathetic to the causes or the issues underlying the case, he makes the stay time limited. And in this case, it was a time limited stay. So this sets up a schedule for briefing and whatnot. And, this will be back before the court, but the stay will not be finite. There's going to be a timeline on this.
So in this new case, I noticed the manufacturers of mifepristone filed a brief that basically says Louisiana's standing theory is an even more attenuated version of
Yeah.
exactly what the court already rejected. Do you buy that argument? And more to the point, do you think the court will?
Well, I do buy the argument. Again, the arguments that were made and rejected by the court in FDA versus the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine.
are you guys okay in the YouTube chat? I know this is a lot of heavy language. I know that you don't understand it and it makes your brains go, but why the fuck are we talking about mRNA in the YouTube chat? I don't know what that has to do with anything at all, but okay.
Talked about, like you have to like when people are using mifepristone, the doctors are denied the aesthetic privilege of watching babies born. It was just like, oh, okay. So it's like really fanciful stuff. And I don't know that it's that much better here. I mean, they're basically arguing in very fetal person forward terms that the state of Louisiana is prevented from protecting unborn life because mifepristone is available nationwide and can be distributed via telehealth and through the mail. Hard to make that as a specific injury to Louisiana specific.
I joined in late. Okay. That's what Coyote said. Coyote said, I joined in late. On my own show. Focus. Focus.
There's also a discussion of the whole question of the safety of mifepristone, and they note that there are 2 people in Louisiana who suffered ill effects from the use of mifepristone, but they also say that over thousands of women have been using mifepristone since Roe versus Wade fell in Dobbs. So I mean, make that make sense. Thousands of women are using it. 2 women experience ill effects, therefore it's a safety concern. And that's one of the predicates under which they're bringing this lawsuit. So I don't buy their claims of injury. I don't know that the court will be as skeptical this time of those claims as they were when this case first came, or a case like this came before the court. Again, when FDA versus the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine was before the court, it was right before a really consequential election. It was just after the Supreme Court overruled Roe versus Wade and Dobbs. I think the court knew that the galvanization of abortion fervor was not great for the court, also not great for the Republican Party. I don't know if they're thinking that the
Well, Rib Tip, you said you get the gist of it, but this is like one of those dry eye commercials. I understand that. And I lose a lot of audience on TikTok and on YouTube because of it. But I think that's part of the problem, right? Rib Tip is people talk about things because of headlines that they read or Twitter posts that they read, and they don't actually get into the nitty gritty. They don't actually take it. Legalese is hard to read. I'm not going to say it's not hard to read, but they don't take it and actually read it to understand the argumentation. So then, like, even I'm not saying that's just a Republican issue. I think that that's an issue on the right and the left, where people are celebrating the fact that mifepristone is still available right now, but they're not taking into account or looking into who is structured in the court that it's going to be argued in, and what they're going to be looking at. And I would rather have that information given out and people to be educated on what's going on in the court system. Because it's really right now, it's the ground zero of this administration. It is really the only place that we have been able to fight back in a actual substantial way. And so I think it's important to be educated on it. I get that. It can be boring. People want the blood sport. People want the yelling. People want the screaming. They want the bullshit. But there's also other stuff going on.
Same kinds of popular conditions
Jerry,
exist
no, he
right
didn't.
now.
He
The
didn't do that,
abortion
Jerry.
question for a lot of people may have fallen to the wayside right now, just because the administration hasn't done anything explicit or obvious as an overture toward abortion rights. People are worried about other things, the economy, the war in Iran, on and on and on. This might actually be a moment where the court is like, nothing to see here. No one's paying attention in the way that they were between 2022 and 24. And this could be the moment.
I mean, even if the court buys the standing argument this time around, it wasn't a big line of legal reasoning in Dobbs that the states must decide this. This cannot be a federal issue. And if they rule against mifepristone here, doesn't that just effectively a national ban on all abortion medication?
Look at you making constitutional claims, John Favreau. It's almost like you read Brett Kavanaugh's concurrence. Let the states decide what they want. Federalism for everybody. Yeah, I guess it's true that this question certainly could be decided on federalism grounds, like Louisiana has made.
Coyote, comparing which I would have to see that number. I don't think it's that high. $200 billion on Ukraine. I do not think it's that high. But trying to compare the money that we have helped aid a sovereign nation who's being invaded to a ballroom. Wow. You should try that again.
Made a choice for itself. And certainly
It's not. They're friends. Melissa Murray and Jon Favreau are friends. They're, giving each other shit. Nobody's your worse bully than your friends are. Or yourself.
they could address the question of the importation of mifepristone into its borders for use by Louisianans. But the broader question of a nationwide ban, like, that seems to be a question that's asked and answered by the whole concept of federalism, whether this court will do that. I mean, it's basically the bottom line is, will this court be principled about its prior stances on questions like federalism, the sovereignty of individual states, including blue states that may want to allow for access to abortion, and just, or whether they'll just do what they want to do because they can, and they have a supermajority of 6. And when you have 6, they let you do what you want.
That's true. Jerry, I see people are asking. Guys, keep asking those questions, please, because I would like to know. Jerry says that Trump got his prescriptions down, his drug prices down. So, like, they asked, did you change doctors? You said no, same doctor. Did you change insurance? What is the drug that you were talking about? If so, it might be the Inflation Reduction Act, which he kept that piece of, by the way. Was that an accident? You didn't mean it. You didn't mean it. Good. Go away.
Let's say, let's take the optimistic view and say that SCOTUS does the right thing here. The Trump FDA.
Are you Kate Shaw?
Well,
what's going on here?
It's don't worry. I'm going to bring us back to Earth soon.
Okay.
This is more of just an exercise. The Trump FDA, as you pointed out, is still doing its own review of mifepristone.
It's fucking insulin. Jerry! Insulin got capped. W, Inflation Reduction Act, and Joe Biden. Bruh. Chicky, is that you, Chicky? In the YouTube chat?
By a debunked Project 2025 report. So is there a case to be made that the legal fight is may be beside the point at this stage? Like, could we just see the FDA itself, cause us to lose telehealth and mail order mifepristone either way?
So any agency action, I'm sure, would be challenged by reproductive rights groups, reproductive justice groups. So certainly the FDA could move ahead of this case and go forward. And again, the whole question, the timeline of this case may be upended, like whether this is an emergency appeal that was made to Justice Alito in his capacity as circuit justice. So that's sort of while the litigation is pending. But the next step for this litigation anyway would have been the Supreme Court. So this is an initial stay. There's going to be a question about whether the court takes this up. Something could obviously happen at the FDA that possibly could moot this case, but I think anything the FDA does would likely to be challenged.
But it does seem like this is a tricky one in which I
am just curious, Jerry, if you don't mind, how much did you pay last month for your insulin versus this month?
If the court rules for Louisiana, like, what does that mean for someone in California or New York or Massachusetts trying to get a mifepristone prescription?
I think it depends on how this decision writes. If this is a decision that takes seriously the question of federalism, as you alluded to earlier, then there is probably an opening for someone in California. It just may limit the importation of mifepristone to states that have very robust restrictions on abortion. It wouldn't necessarily, depending on how it's written, it wouldn't necessarily prevent people from Louisiana from leaving the state unless Louisiana wrote a law that, made it impossible for people to leave the state, although I think that could be challenged on constitutional grounds regarding the right to travel. Brett Kavanaugh mentioned that in his concurrence in Dobbs as well. So there are a lot of open avenues. I think one thing that is really interesting and deeply implicated by this case and the questions it raises is what happens to physicians in blue states who prescribe mifepristone, and then the prescriptions are going to people in other places, whether it's
Ah.
Louisiana.
Well, Tasty Cake, I mean, hi Tasty Cake. Bye Tasty Cake. They could change their stance. They could just do that, right? I would have no problem giving them a small, hey, you finally came to the table, with the fact that abortion is a losing argument for them. And if they decided that they were going to let that one go, right? I'd have no problem with that. That's called progress, which is like the antithesis of what they do.
Or whatnot. And those are big questions and likely to implicate the spate of shield laws that have been enacted in the wake of Dobbs that haven't really been tested at the Supreme Court yet.
Let's move to another cheery topic. The other big court ruling from the other week is Calais, which was about the Voting Rights Act. It was a 6-3 decision, again with our friend Alito, writing for
A HeartMe tutorial. Okay. Since we're clowning on Eli. Guys, if you were over here on TikTok, thank you guys for doing the tapping. You are doing fantastic. Let's try to get to 100,000 likes as quick as we can, because I know you guys can do it. So if you look on the screen next to my name at the top, there's a little heart. There's a little heart right there, since you're already following me, Eli. There's a little heart right there, and you click it. Okay? It's going to bring up this little menu for you. Okay? There's going to be send a heart me. And you hit send, and it's gonna send Jon Favreau, apparently, the heart me. If you have coins in your account to do so. That's the way you do that, Eli. I'm going to pay for that later. I just want you guys to know. I'm going to pay for that eventually. Might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. But Pepperidge Farm remembers, and damn sure Eli remembers. So that's going to be great for me.
He said he doesn't even know how to buy coins. So
Oh, well, that's
we got to
issue.
dumb it down even further. So right below Olive there's a little present box, right?
Can't stand this.
You're going to click on that present box and you can hit recharge. And with all the coins I've gifted you, you can exchange them for more coins.
Shit. Why is this happening to me?
I'm just need you to shut the fuck up.
Hey, I don't know how you've gone. You've made it almost a year without sending a fucking
Ari is
heart
correct.
me.
If you choose, I would never force somebody to buy coins, but if you choose to buy coins, do it on the browser, not through the app if you're using your actual money.
Not me and Mrs. Cook. Me and Mrs. Cook.
Go away.
Adi, the only fucking person who got my back.
I was just told to give it. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. It wasn't me. As I stated before, your biggest bullies are your friends. And that's Oh, I know it's you. Hi, Parkers.
Hey, this is really for Jerry, just because I'm tired of him in the Tubes chat. But Jerry, if you Googled, like literally, if you just Googled, why is insulin lower May 2026 than April 2026, it would tell you that it was the full implementation of the Medicare price caps, because starting in January 1st of this year, the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 continued to cap Medicare insulin copays at $35 a month. Additionally, new negotiated prices for 10 high-cost drugs, including some insulin products, finally took effect, bringing the prices down by at least 38%. Like, this was the easiest thing to homework ever, and I'm still so mad that I had to do it for you. You're no.
But I do love when your Dommy teacher comes out.
Hi, Olive. Hi, Money.
As we
But
know,
yeah, I was like, I'm not
legislation is
typing all this
slow.
up.
Legislation is slow. And actually, if you're showing me, Jerry, that it went down to $22, what that shows me is that collective bargaining through the government works, and it forces competition from the companies to be even lower than what the cap is.
Oh yeah, the increased competition. Yeah, the increased competition of biosimilars, like the market being heavily supplied with interchangeable biosimilars that are effectively and cheaper generics that are structurally identical, are what is causing the competition for the older, higher cost brands to finally cave and drop their prices. Welcome to how the free market is supposed to work.
Well, Jerry, nobody's mad. It's just like this was a Google search away, and you came in and you gave Trump credit for it. And that's where the problem lies. That's all.
Yeah, I'm gonna be irritated when people are like maliciously lazy.
Right.
Like maliciously
You could have
lazy. It was so easy. If you know how to read, prove it. Just do it. Anyway, you can drop me. I'm gonna keep fucking with Jerry.
See, but Jerry, now you fucked up. I know you were asking questions because it seems like I have sense and that we have sense. I get it. I do. And I was being nice to you. I actually wrote it down, Jerry, because I was going to look it up later. Because I was like, what is the difference between last month and this month? I was going to look at it for you. Which you could have looked up yourself. But you done fucked up. Because now there's blood in the water. So I'm sorry about that, Jerry. We're going to get to... No. Raymond. We're done. Thank you for calling the stream. Can I get your age, state, and who you voted for?
50, Florida, Trump.
Okay. Why are you still supporting Trump?
I just wanted to correct you guys. I don't want to get into anything right now, but insulin at Walmart's been $25 for more than 10 years.
Sure.
And metformin is $3. As long as you have a prescription.
Sure.
There's no copay.
Yeah. I'm not denying that there have been certain drugs from certain companies in certain places that have been that low already for years before. The difference is that capping it means that companies cannot make you pay above that amount in your copay. That's all we were saying.
Yeah, but you know what the difference is?
What?
That the insulin that everybody wants, they want the vial in the pin.
Sure.
They're too lazy to stick the needle in the vial, suck it up, and then fix yourself. It's the same thing.
But it's the same thing, so it should cost the same.
It costs a lot of money to develop that EpiPen.
Well, they shouldn't. I don't think any kind of healthcare should be for profit anyway. So yeah, it should cost less for the people who desperately need that drug.
So so who should support the? My dumb question would be, who supports the R&D on the drugs if they're not going to make a profit?
What do you mean? The government could. We could.
Man, we're in debt, $39 trillion. How much more can we go?
It would actually be cheaper in the long run if we did it this way, because you would cut out the middleman of insurance companies. But
no, you're right. When you cut out the middleman, it's much better.
Sure.
But we're so lazy
Companies
here in this country that we're getting a lot of stuff that we shouldn't be getting.
Like what?
Like people that were on welfare were getting stuff that they should be cooking at home. If you're not working and you're at home, maybe you should be cooking. Maybe, I don't know.
You know that most people who receive SNAP work, right? I actually just told my SNAP story this morning about how SNAP said that they overpaid us for November and December, and my husband had to drive 30 minutes to the office to go pay that back today, which is totally fine because they overpaid us.
No, I understand. There's issues. There is issues. I worked at the housing development. I'm not going to say in what state or city, but I would watch these people have like $400 or $500, and this is like 6 years ago, $400 or $500 worth of food, all frozen, all unhealthy. And they didn't have to work. They didn't care.
That's not true. A majority of the people who receive SNAP benefits work full-time or part-time jobs. That's not true.
I worked in a place that has 27 ghettos in the city.
The
in
fact
one
that you
city.
use that term means that you probably shouldn't work for the public works.
Why? Because it's the ghetto. Because
That
everybody
is
was
a
high there.
biased. That is a biased racial
No.
term. That's a biased racial term for impoverished people. You obviously don't have the demeanor to be working in public works.
The word ghetto comes from the Romans, and they called that the Jewish slums where they were
And
enslaved.
there's the anti-Semitism.
No, I'm not imitating. I'm just telling you what the Romans did. I have.
What
You
is
know,
the
people do to
social
each other what they want.
what is the social consequences of that term?
I have no clue. I lived in the ghetto in LA too. Right? I was brought up in the ghetto, so I don't know. It
So-
didn't affect me.
So okay, actually, yeah, Otto, you made up a good point. You used a term that the Romans used for the enslaved Jewish people. So maybe we shouldn't use it for poor people, right?
Okay, so what are you going to call it? The slums?
No, you call it the impoverished area. People are impoverished. That happens. But again, based off of the way you speak, you probably should not be working in public works.
Let me correct you there too.
No, you don't need to correct me. You
Where
would
I
need to
live-
find me. You
where
need
I
to find
lived-
me.
where
What
I
you need to
lived
do.
in the
What you
ghetto-
need to do.
hold
What
on.
you need to do. No. You can listen to that music for a second. What you need to do is find me a source that people are just lazy in receiving funds. That's not an anecdotal that you made the fuck up. Because statistics don't say that. The majority of people who get SNAP work full-time and part-time jobs. I don't know why you guys have such a fucking problem with poor people getting food.
Because I worked there.
I don't care.
I worked there, and
I have a
not
friend
only
who
that,
works there.
they
I have
were-
a
they
friend
were-
who
they-
works.
they were-
I have a friend who works. I have a friend who works distributing those benefits, and they say you're lying. Now what?
They would sell me their EBT cards so I can go
don't-
get food.
no, they
so they
wouldn't.
can go buy drugs.
No, they would not. None of that happened. Things that never happened for $500, Alex.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So can you give me some statistical proof? Because all I hear is a man who works in public works and shouldn't, who hates poor people.
I don't work for Public Works. I worked as a subcontractor fixing their as a subcontractor working on their homes. And I got to see AK-47s. I got to see them blending drugs together. I got to see them doing a whole lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But
And you saw them
unless
doing
you
this.
go into those cities, yes, because if you say something there, they kill you.
Uh-huh. That happened, I'm sure. Are you hiding your identity? Because you just said it. So I guess they're going to come after you
No,
now.
I'm freaking, dude, I'm freaking Mexican. They want to come, they can come. I don't care. You know?
That doesn't mean anything.
That's
You
why
being
I'm in
Mexican
Florida.
doesn't mean anything. Yeah, he's a handyman, Dean.
Yeah, with a bachelor's degree too.
You have a master's degree in being a handyman? Being a subcontractor?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
That
What do you think? What do you think a plumber makes right now an hour?
Oh, they make a lot of money.
They're right at about $125 an hour in Florida.
Sure. No, they make a lot of money.
And you know what our minimum charge is just to show up? 4 hours.
So why do you care
We're
if
just
you're
like the
making if
doctors
you're
now.
making so much money? If you're making so much money, why do you give a fuck about what poor people are doing?
Because I'm getting taxed at the higher bracket.
No, you're not. Donald Trump fixed that, don't you know?
Mm-mm.
He didn't fix that?
You know how I'm getting taxed? All the fraud that's going around. That money shouldn't be going around to
That's
people
not how that
that are
works.
causing the fraud.
Sweetheart, that's not how that works.
I think this needs to be said. Sorry, Jeff.
W, Oya.
I think some terminology should be out of people's vocabulary. Terminology like that, people just completely eliminate it, regardless of who they are. Dehumanizing someone for where they live and where they are is not correct. And
It doesn't lift you up, by the way.
no, Does
to put
not.
people down. No, Dad, he didn't run. Oya paid for him to go away.
Not hard to change your vocab.
Hi.
Okay. Hi again. A few things. People that don't want to stick themselves with needles that are not an auto injector are not lazy. An EpiPen is not insulin. That's adrenaline. But an auto injector helps people that have anxiety because there's already a part of your brain, I'm not going to say what part because I can't remember, but there's a part of your brain that says do not hurt yourself and rebels against it the moment you almost try to. All right? Like, as somebody that's had to use an auto injector for migraine medication, that is so much. I would rather do an auto injector all day because that's a quick thing. I might be pressing the button, but I am not making that needle go all the way through my skin. That is a lifesaver for people. So yes, there is an auto injector for insulin. And if that helps them get over their needle anxiety, because we all know people have needle anxiety. Well,
yeah, and I'm thinking about if you get even the elderly who have diabetes and maybe they have a compounding, some sort of something that makes their hand shake or whatever, like that's all of these things. They need consistency in a dosage of insulin. So, like, I just don't see why we're complaining about people having better access and easier access to their prescriptions.
Right. And even, like, some of your doctor's offices will be like, hey, if you need help with your injection, you can come here and set up an injection appointment, which you'll still wait 25 minutes to get seen. But the issue with that is they charge you for that appointment because you have needle anxiety. The other thing is if you know this word has been used harmfully in the past, why the hell would you still say it today?
Because he hates poor people. And as a fellow Mexican, maybe they'll choose you. But I doubt it, sweetie. They're not going to choose you.
Sorry, there was so much wrong with old men. Get off the fucking internet. You're the majority of people that call us, unfortunately, but so for real. I don't know. When did you stop growing? Like, when did you stop learning? When did you decide that fucking education and knowledge was, you were allergic to it? When did you decide that you all of a sudden had allergies to education and knowledge? Hecata.
RTP made a great point yesterday. He said something to the effect of, when you have a question about something, don't stop there. Keep going. Like, keep learning. It's like you guys get to a certain point and you go, nuh-uh, and you just stop. Like, don't do that. Like, keep going. Ugh. Try to find.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, I had to make my points about old man and his silliness. And also fuck the government. But okay, I'm going inside.
Okay,
love you.
Love you.
Drop me down. Okay, bye.
If they don't put these GIFs on TikTok Studio in order from lowest to highest, I'm going to lose my mind.
They're not going to.
I'm going to write them a million emails because it's been bugging me for months.
While you're writing that email, write the email also about the TikTok shop ordering system, because what the fuck? I have cleaned. I'm cleaning right now, and I'm still mad because my package has not moved one bit. Guys, still, again, you guys can show us all the love you want. There's 154 people in here. Do all the wonderful things.
We appreciate it very much. All right, let's get back to this. Melissa Murray interview from Strict Scrutiny and Jon Favreau of Pod Save America. Now they're getting into the SCOTUS decision on the Voting Rights Act, what it is, what it does, what it could mean, where the dangers are in that.
The majority. What did the court do there, and what is the actual practical consequence going to be, do you think, over the next 2-4?
Except Brian, real quick. Brian, no, I stay.
Or 6 years.
Well, what did the court do there? So, what does the court tell us it's doing, and what does the court actually do may be two
Yeah,
very different things. And maybe we should parse that for a little bit. The court in that case said that it was doing no more than realigning the terms of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 with the jurisprudence that it has issued. Anytime the court says it's realigning something, it's pretty much either eviscerating it or overruling it. So they are presenting this as a kind of modest change or update. But as Justice Kagan said in her dissent, it is effectively the evisceration of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. And to understand what she means by that, I think you have to understand the procedural posture of this case and what the case was actually about. One thing to note here was that back in 2023, the court took up a very similar case called Allen versus Milligan. It was about Alabama's congressional map that was drawn in the wake of the 2020 census. Alabama essentially packed its Black citizens into one district. That map was challenged as an impermissible racial gerrymander under Section 2. A lower court agreed it was an impermissible racial gerrymander, and it ordered Alabama to draw a new map with more representation for African Americans. And so Alabama drew a map with 2 voter opportunity districts where minority voters would have the opportunity to elect the candidates of their choice. Fast forward to October term 2022, but June 2023, when the court issued its decision in Allen versus Milligan, the map that had been drawn, the second map with the 2 voter opportunity districts, had been challenged as itself an impermissible racial gerrymander because they were thinking about race when they were trying to remedy the racial discrimination of the initial map, which seems right. Like, you have to think about race if you're trying to vindicate the interests of minority voters after the state has screwed over the minority voters with the first map. And the court in that case said, this map is fine by a 6-3 vote. So they upheld the new map with the 2 minority opportunity districts. Subsequently, the same thing happened in Louisiana. So it's a virtually identical case. Louisiana draws its maps after the census. It makes 1 opportunity district for Black voters, even though Black voters comprise about a third of the Louisiana electorate. A court says it's an impermissible racial gerrymander, orders the state to draw 2 new districts. The state does that. A group of non-African American voters challenge the new map with the 2 opportunity districts as an impermissible racial gerrymander on the view that in trying to remedy the discrimination done by the first racial gerrymander, the state has now engaged in more racial discrimination. And the second round of racial discrimination is racial discrimination against white voters. And in the decision that was issued last week, Justice Alito said, yeah, that sounds right. Even thinking about race in the context of trying to remedy past racial discrimination is itself a racial violation. So this is basically applying to the context of voting rights the same logic that this court has used in the context of affirmative action. Like, the Constitution does not see race at all. If you're even thinking about race, even if it's for remedial purposes, that is suspect and should be invalidated. And if you are going to use race as a remedy, the only context where it will be applicable and permissible is in circumstances where you can prove intentional discrimination, which is really, really hard to do, especially in the context of voting, where, and especially in the South, often race and political affiliation run together. So most Black voters in the South are going to be Democrats. So if Black voters say, hey, listen, you just totally diluted our voting power, this is a racial discrimination issue, it's a racial gerrymander, the state just has to say, no, we were doing this because we were trying to consolidate partisan advantage. And that's probably true, but it doesn't mean it's also not racial discrimination. The court says, full stop, you've got to have absolute proof that this was intentional racial discrimination. Most states are not dumb. Most state officials aren't dumb. They're going to figure out how to do this without making it look intentional, and they're going to keep doing it. And that's really the danger of this case. We're going to see more and more districts being drawn in ways that disadvantage minority voters and voters of color. We are going to see more and more states try to consolidate partisan advantage. Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee reportedly said that, this decision leaves the state legislature of Tennessee free to make Tennessee a red state in perpetuity. All of this is unbelievably anti-democratic, but it's also deeply, deeply multiracial democratic, right? Like, this is how you kill a multiracial democracy.
So how did the court differentiate its ruling in the Louisiana case from its ruling in the Alabama case, where I believe Roberts and Kavanaugh voted with the liberals in that case?
Well, I think part of how they did this was that they created a new question to be asked. So the case, Louisiana versus Calais, was actually first taken up in October term 2024. There was oral argument. The court was expected to issue a decision by June 2025. In June of 2025, it said, wait a minute, we're going to hold this case over till the next term. They ordered another set of oral arguments, and then they instructed the litigants to answer a new question that the litigants didn't even ask. So this is a question the court was supplying, and the question was whether the use of race in the context of remedying this racial gerrymander violated the 14th and 15th Amendments. Nobody asked them to brief that. Nobody wanted that. The court wanted it, and they wanted to get to that question. And part of how they're distinguishing is because of that question and the unique circumstances around that.
So that question was not even asked or answered in the Alabama case, and
Right.
this was just a way to, okay. Cool. If the goal was to just gut Section 2, which it functionally does, why dress it up in the way that Alito did? Is that just his style, or do you think there was a strategic reason to do that?
Well, I think there's two strategic reasons. One redounds to the benefit of the court. The other redounds to the benefit of non-African American litigants. Let me explain the court benefit first. This is a court that for almost every year that it has had a conservative supermajority has overruled some precedent. So Roe versus Wade in 2022, the affirmative action precedents in 2023, Chevron in 2024. I think if they had actually gutted the Voting Rights Act, basically overruled Jingles, which was the jurisprudence that really laid out the factors for drawing these majority-minority districts, that would have raised some eyebrows from a lot of people who think this court is really on one and probably needs to be curbed. So there's that issue. I don't think the court could say, we're just completely throwing out the Voting Rights Act. And, for understandable reasons, it would have really galvanized, I think, popular antipathy against the court. The other thing, though, that simply preserving Section 2 does is that it leaves Section 2 available.
Brandon, that's not what that means. Brandon, I don't think you understand any of what she's saying. You said, so Democrats like creating illegal laws. That's not how that works. And I wouldn't put it on a side, right? There are legislators that create laws that may be, depending on what they are citing, what they are laying it on, might be unconstitutional or not safe. They're not creating illegal laws. It's things might, illegal laws is oxymoronic. It is up to an interpretation of the ruling. Thank you, Blue. I can read that at the end of this. You're talking to this is Melissa Murray, by the way. She's a legal scholar. She is a professor of law. She also was once a dean at UC Berkeley Law. Like, I know you don't understand this, Brandon, but
to be used by non-African American litigants every time a state tries to remedy. So blue states trying to draw opportunity districts, now non-African American litigants can come in and say, that violates my rights. So in California, for example, this new redistricting effort that is being done to counteract what is happening in Texas and in other red states, if non-African American voters say that the state has drawn this for the purpose of consolidating racial minority groups' political power, then all of a sudden you have a Section 2 claim that can be brought and that the court is probably going to look at. And they're probably not going to think that it's an effort to consolidate partisan advantage. They're really going to focus on the racial aspect of it.
All right. The happier news, your new book, which when people hear this will be out. called The U.S. Constitution, a comprehensive and annotated guide for the modern reader.
I think they just talk about her.
Obvious question first. There are a lot of books about the Constitution. Why this one? Why now?
First of all, this is for the modern reader. And
All right.
I would say probably pick up her book and read it. She's brilliant. I've listened to her on PodSave before. She's really fucking smart. I love her. If you want to add it to your TBR, it's right there. I think that it would be an important thing to read. Or just, read the Constitution in general, but we're done with that video because we don't need that. Okay, so real quick before I get to this, I want to share this that Blue sent me, but W to you, chatter tappers over there on TikTok. W to you guys. You guys hit over 100,000 likes. Thank you so much. I still have 30 minutes left, so I know that we can boost that number up, but thank you guys so much. You are very, very good boys, girls, and theys. I appreciate you so very, very much. Dommy Mommy is very proud of you, so whatever you want. If you need some pats on the heads or some steps on the neck, whatever you would like, you may get. All right, so let me get this. This was Marsha Blackburn's tweet. Specifically what they're trying to do now, okay? I urge our state legislature to reconvene to redistrict another Republican seat in Memphis. It's essential to cement real Donald Trump's agenda and the golden age of America. I vowed to keep Tennessee a red state, and as governor, I'll do everything I can to make this map a reality. As Blue said, splitting Shelby County between 3 districts to try to take the seat's 1 Democratic rep. And here's what the current map looks like in Tennessee. The current districts in Tennessee look like as of right now. And District 9 is, where's District 9? What did you say? Is currently the one blue district. That's what you said. District. Did you mean District 7? That's 9. I don't know what the colors mean. That's not helpful. So what's happening? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. You asked a question. What?
Oh, the colors are just separators. Oh, okay. Blue was saying that this district right here, District 9, is the only blue district in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's Memphis.
That's where Memphis is. Okay. Thank you, Blue. So that's why this decision was so important, because what it does is it guts such a primary provision in the Voting Rights Act, which is that if you're discriminating by race, they are now saying you cannot fix that discrimination of race with race, which is just silly. So now what they're going to do is they're going to try to start redistricting using the VRA, using Article 2 of the VRA as a claim to say that these districts were done racially, right? Like by saying that District 9 was done racially and that they need to make it where it's partisan, which in and of itself, the partisanship of it all would make it racist too, because we know about the demographics and the separation of registered voters. They're going to try to cheat. They know that they're cooked, so they're going to try to cheat. Now, they're going to run into legal challenges of this. Just because the decision with Louisiana happened does not mean it paves the way for them to get away with this. They can try. It's going to have issues, right? We saw just recently Ron DeSantis just signed the new map for Florida, completely violating, which they talked about, right? Like completely violating the Florida Constitution. And so, but the issue is, again, like they said in the video, is that you probably have a more conservative court in Florida, so he might be able to get away with it. It's just going to depend. Right, Blue, they cannot win on policy. Republicans cannot win on policy alone, as we have seen from the polling over and over and over again. What they are doing is not popular with the people. It is not beneficial to the people, so they have to cheat to stay in power. It's all they have. So that's fun. We love that. Okay. What did I want to get to this. I know we didn't finish Hegseth. Eventually we will, but with the time that I have left, we'll see where we get to. I want to get to this. So as we know, Todd Blanche, the acting AG, and the DOJ are currently going after. They have an indictment on James Comey for an Instagram post from a year ago that he put up and that he took down of 8647 of some shells on the beach, right? Okay. Well, the thing is Blanche was then asked, I apologize for the sounds, still getting over the crud. He was asked specifically about the fact that Republicans have also used this term. So Jack Posobiec, who sucks, hate Jack Posobiec, used 8646 for Joe Biden. Is that something he's going to look into legally if that's where the issue lies?
Let's do a compare and contrast, Mr. Blanche. In 2022, someone well known in right-wing circles, Jack Posobiec, posted on X 86.
I've always heard, is it Posobiec or Posobiec? I don't know how to, fuck him. Who cares how to say his name? He sucks.
46. He did not take it down. He did not apologize. Mr. Comey has done both of those things. The Biden Justice Department never prosecuted him. By the standard of that grand jury, Jack Posobiec should face charges as well. Will the Justice Department pursue that case? Because they sound very similar.
That's just completely not true. That's not how a grand jury does its work. They don't just look at a single image and then say, okay, yes, we'll indict, or okay, no, we won't indict. They do an investigation.
No, grand juries don't do investigations. You and your team would do an investigation and present that said evidence to the jury. The jury doesn't do an investigation. They look at what's presented in front of them and say, do you have enough to go forward with an indictment or not? I would like to know what you gave them because, again, this indictment was, 3 pages when we read it? We went over it. It was a 3-page indictment.
Give or take 3.
Yeah. And
it was a small indictment of 3.
And the 2 charges were what? The picture itself being a threat. And, and it was across state lines because it was 2 pages. I think the PDF I had, Law, had 3 because the signature was on the 3rd page. I don't know why. And then the second count was because he did it on the internet, so it was like crossing boundaries. If that's all you've got, those are the counts that you presented in front of the grand jury. Why? What would be different? Like, he's sinking his own case. I have other videos, but I'm going to show you. He's sinking his own case by opening his big fucking mouth, which the case was going to be bullshit anyway. But the fact that you're saying that you're not going to go after people who did the same fucking thing, would that not be the same charges for Jack Posobiec? He did 8646 online. That's it. That's the tweet. That would be count 1, would be the threat. Count 2 would be the fact that he did it on X or Twitter. Okay? Would be the crossing state lines, internet terrorism count. Wouldn't that be the same thing? Why is it different, I wonder? Oh, I know, Jay Bunky. That's part of the video that I have. I think I have it on this outline.
Conduct took place in May of last year, May 15th. It has been almost a year. I assure you, the FBI, the Secret Service, and the U.S. Attorney's Office have not been sitting around doing nothing. They have been investigating. I have no idea whether there was an investigation into the other times that post has been made and whether that investigation yielded different results. This investigation that we undertook resulted in a 2-count indictment. So you cannot compare, well, what happened last time, what happened this time. Every investigation is different. You know that. The American people know that. A lot of factors going into go into whether somebody should or should not be charged. The mere fact that there's a similar photo posted or similar statement made, that's true. Every day there's comments made about President Trump, threats made against President Trump. Every one of those are not indicted. It depends on the facts of every case.
Mr. Blanche.
What are the facts of this case that make it different? Yeah, they spent 11 months on seashells. Was it this one? He says it multiple times. He says it literally multiple times. So I'm just gonna play all the times that he says this. Yes, I do have the T-shirt one. He gets asked about the T-shirts actually, but that's after this one. So let me get because the question is it the DOJ's position that anybody who posts 8647 is subject to potential investigation and criminal charges? Because it's hard, you can't hear him.
Look, every case is different. Every threats case is different, and so that means that there can. What does that mean? That means that the nature of the threat, the person who makes the threat.
The the nature of the threat. Seashells on the beach? On a picture that he immediately took down? A year ago? Okay.
And then the investigation around the threat. And so you cannot, it would be ill-advised.
He immediately took it down and apologized.
For anybody to compare a particular statement to another statement that appears similar when there's been a thorough investigation. Nobody in this room has any idea what happened during a grand jury investigation between May 15th and yesterday. And so that's reflective of the work that the FBI, the Secret Service, U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of North Carolina did. And so you know that every time that's posted, that number is posted, you know that every time there is a threat against the president, it doesn't necessarily lead to an indictment. It depends. It depends on the investigation. It depends on all kinds of factors. And so it's not, people should be very wary of threatening the life of President Trump, because that is a crime. Full stop, okay?
Where was the threat? Again, if that was a threat, so was Jack Posobiec's. Yeah, it depends if it's political rhetoric or a true threat. Where's the threat? Now, if you had an email that James Comey sent that same day he took that picture that said, I believe in this cause, I really want to see it go through, I hope myself or somebody else does this, then yeah, probably that's a threat. Where's that? Oh, you don't have that? It's just the Instagram picture he took down? Oh, okay.
Now, whether it's a crime that we will ultimately charge, depending on, you mentioned the First Amendment, sure, or other investigative steps or things that we learn or things that we uncover from talking to witnesses, reviewing evidence.
Yeah, I do like that case law. Watts versus U.S., the defendant literally said he would pew POTUS if he was drafted. And, yep, SCOTUS said, free speech. You're allowed to say that because it's political rhetoric. Yeah, Blue, this man is an attorney. I think that he hoped that he wouldn't be able to get an indictment for it. And I feel like this is one of those things that was like a pet project for Donald Trump, right? Like he went to Todd Blanche and was like, do you remember when Comey did this? Get him on it. And he was like hoping that the grand jury wouldn't indict so he could go, well, Mr. President, I mean, we did try. We presented all the evidence and you're right. This was an absolute threat, but like the grand jury did what the grand jury did. And now you have this man clowning around, pretzeling around, trying to figure out how the fuck he's going to explain this because this case is going nowhere fast.
On the one hand, the fact that people are questioning why we would be, that there should be no doubt you cannot threaten the life of the President of the United States. Can't do it, okay? And so beyond that, I'm not going to comment. We've had an indictment returned by a grand jury in North Carolina. I think my understanding is Mr. Comey appeared in court in Virginia today. I'm not sure the schedule beyond that. I haven't caught up to folks about that. But he will be given every single right, every single opportunity to defend his case in court, and the U.S. Attorney's Office should be given every single right to do exactly what they have a right to do as well.
Well, I think, yeah, law. So 99.998% of federal grand jury cases result in an indictment. I know my husband had looked up too, and it was like, the conviction rate of the DOJ was like above 90%. It has dropped because this DOJ is so fucking incompetent. Coyote, are you talking about, you said you have the PDF of the case downloaded right now, 14 pages. This case that we're talking about has not gone, a judge has been appointed, but it has not gone in front of a judge yet, for one. The indictment itself, the one that I had the PDF of, was 3 pages, 2 counts, a forfeiture of property, and a signature. And the only 14 pages I've seen. Oh, is he talking about the SPLC? Yeah, we're not talking about the SPLC. I've talked ad nauseum. We actually read the entire 14 pages of the SPLC indictment on this live. That's also going nowhere. Law says their high conviction rate includes plea deals that essentially neuter the case, which is true. Yes. What do you want? Yes.
Yeah, they went from a 99.6% success rate in the DC Federal Prosecutor's Office to under 30.
Yikes on bikes.
So W. Perot.
What is it called? What's it called? Zinfandel. It's Zinfandel. It's not her. It's the Zinfandel doing it for her.
Law, isn't it lower than like their success rate in securing a conviction? I heard was.
Well, but that's what he said. He said the high conviction rate also includes plea deals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He said that. Okay. I'm going to mute you or drop you. All right. So this is the one that I've seen talked about too, is because Amazon is like allowing people to sell shirts with the damn seashells on it. And so again, Todd Blanche is trying to explain this away about, are you going to go after all these people, or why James Comey in particular? Could it be because Donald Trump has beef with James Comey? Could it just be that?
Well, the image, excuse me, is part of what led to this indictment.
Yes.
It is worth noting that on Amazon.com, we looked this up, there are dozens of products with the same terminology. We're showing it right here, 8647 being sold and purchased right now. Should individuals selling or buying 8647 merchandise be concerned that they're going to be prosecuted by the DOJ?
This isn't about a single incident. Okay, this isn't. I mean, of course not.
Except the indictment literally is about one single incident. I'm gonna buy it. That'll go well. Just don't wear it to court. Like, he's desperately trying. This isn't about one single incident, except that it literally is. It's literally about the one photo.
That's posted constantly. That phrase is used constantly. There are constantly men and women who choose to make threatening statements against President Trump. Every one of those statements do not result in indictments, of course. There are facts, there are circumstances, there are investigations that have to take place. And we have charged dozens and dozens of men and women this year with threatening President Trump and others. So this isn't a new charge we're bringing.
Just to be very clear, you are suggesting the seashells themselves are not at the root of this indictment.
No, I am suggesting that every single case
Okay, so he doesn't answer that question.
depends on the investigation that's done. And of course, the seashells are part of that case. I mean, that's what the public sees. But without a doubt, and it should be evident by the fact that it's been 11 months since the posting and the indictment, there is an investigation that takes place. And
11 months for what? You have two counts. One is the picture, one is the fact that you posted the picture online.
So, like my "Is he dead yet" shirt,
Uh-huh.
could that get me indicted?
Not according to Todd Blanche, because there's an investigation that goes along with this, and it takes time. It's not just the image.
Because it's crazy when I wear that shirt. You either get good reactions or bad reactions, but everyone knows who the fuck you're talking about.
They had to interview the seagulls. What if she sells the seashells? Well, then I guess the case is bunk. I guess that's it, Chris. It's so unserious. This administration is so unserious. We should be crying. But, like, what the fuck? You know, there's people trafficking children right now. But James Comey. By the seashore? By the seashore?
that's the result.
And they
The
were
result of that
roommates.
And they were roommates?
investigation is the indictment that was returned last week.
Let's talk.
It's a fucking joke. It's sad that it's a fucking joke, but it's a joke. And then I wanted to play in that same vein. What was this one? This was Representative Troy Nehls. He always has a cigar in his hand, which is really fucking annoying because it makes it hard to play his stuff. But even he called it a stretch. He's like, it's a stretch. Like, what are we doing?
And you can indict anybody for anything.
Well, what's your opinion? Do you think that this was really a
I think
threatening
it's a
message?
stretch. I think it's well, is it a threatening message? I mean, what's that? That's not a damn zip code. What do you think that means?
Do you think it was do you think that they should have indicted
I'm
him?
saying
over it?
if somebody looks at that, and James Comey put that out there, That's 86, right? 47. So we know what it means. But is it criminal? Is it truly a threat? We're encouraging people. But I tell you what, though, how many times has the president ever? I mean, this is a.
Now, and then he moves on, which I'll let him finish. Then he moves on and pivots to how many times people have attempted to take Trump's life. And that's a conversation you can have. Maybe Trump should have an internal conversation with himself about why people want to kill you so much. But even Troy Nels is saying, like, is it criminal? Like, I don't know that it's criminal.
Third time they've gone after President Trump.
Doesn't seem
and,
criminal
and
to you, sir?
The rhetoric has to stop. Is it criminal? I don't. If you can get a jury to convict him.
You're a
If you
former
can get a jury to convict him.
I don't know why he did the, like, office, like. Listen, we had a case of a guy who threw a sandwich at a national, was he a National Guardsman or was he an ICE agent? I can't remember. He broke the fourth wall. I don't think he was National Guard, was he? Fuck, I can't remember what he was. But he threw the ice. It was ice. He threw the sandwich at him on camera. He said, yeah, that was me. Went to a jury, was acquitted. Okay? Like, I'm just saying, in way of cases, that probably would have been a pretty open and shut. That, yeah, he threw that fucking sandwich and he was acquitted. So I wouldn't put
He
much.
said, you think I threw a sandwich at a law enforcement? Yeah, I threw a sandwich at a law enforcement officer.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Everybody, you know what? Everybody went after Donald Trump and convicted him for lesser.
CBP
They
agent.
had
It was
nothing.
one of them.
I
We
don't
were going
even
to get
think
there
probable
eventually.
cause to do it. But you can't find an honest jury in New York. You can't find one here or a judge. So I just think, listen, it's a stretch. And you.
It's a stretch. And then Alina Habba, who could not get confirmed to be a lawyer by anyone. She could not be confirmed. Struggle bust. Really, really hard. Had a very embarrassing, Lenati sent me this, by the way. A very embarrassing conversation on The View, which in and of itself is embarrassing because The View is not the epitome of political conversation, right? The View is for middle-aged women to rant and rave and also kind of talk politics, but not really. Like, it's not great.
Did you not just say Lenati sent it to you?
That doesn't mean she was watching it. She gets clips of things. She
woke up in a
she
daze
sent
from
it-
her pain pills.
This was before that, and she sent
Oh.
it on. I'm gonna get my chancla and she sent it on TikTok. How fucking dare you? You owe Lenati an apology.
She mailed you the VHS tape.
Yeah, that's what happened. She mailed it. Oh, look, she's here. Your mama.
Oh shit! I did not say anything.
Uh-huh.
We were just talking about how we hope you get better.
He said everything. Get him.
Get him.
Get him.
So this is Alina Habba absolutely embarrassing herself in regards to the indictment on Comey. So there's that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You have 9 minutes, Eli.
Leave Eli alone.
We discussed the most recent federal indictment of former FBI Director James Comey related to an Instagram post of seashells, an Instagram post that he deleted the very next day and apologized for. Do you think Comey's post rises to the level of a criminal threat against the life of the president?
Real quick though, Coyote, I see you going back and forth with Blue about the SPLC. I wish I had time to get into it with you. I wish you could call in and we could talk about it because, like you said, you did say allegedly, but that they have the transactions. Yeah. Again, what are they charging them with, Coyote? What are they charging the SPLC with specifically? And if the SPLC, has documents that the bank of the SPLC paid these shell companies, which you still would have to sign your name up, and then paid informants, they didn't do anything wrong. Okay? I don't do call-in because I'm not on script. That's good. That's a good thing. You shouldn't be on a script. That's weird. Yeah, people don't know how to read indictments. And to be fair, Law, like, even when I read them, I have to read, sometimes I have to take a sentence and read it 3 or 4 times to make sure I understood what the fuck it said.
They don't know how to read the Bible, Law. You expect them to...
The Bible's harder.
Jesus wept, I don't think is harder than an entire indictment.
Jesus is weeping a lot lately. Okay? He's upset. He's upset. Yeah, it's not illegal to use a trade name on a bank account. Ay. But again, Coyote, I asked you. You said you downloaded the 14 pages. What are they being charged with?
Supports an indictment.
I do. I'll explain why. After Comey's post, and this is where I go back to Saturday's events, the responsibility of certain individuals like us, we all have a very big voice. He is a former FBI director. He knows what 8647 meant. There's no question about it. He actually went on TV
What
later.
do you think 86 means?
To kill the president, to get rid of the president. That's what it means. By the way, his words, not mine. If you look at his late night show.
But the dictionary disagrees with you on that.
Well, he's the
they use
FBI
it,
director.
They
He
use
knows
it. They
better.
use it in restaurants. Do they mean to?
See, that's why I don't like The View. What do you mean? The definition?
86 sesame bagels. Oh, you said kill the president? What the fuck?
Like, but even The View, even the host of The View who's going at her, like, that's not what the dictionary says. I'm sorry. Is there a dictionary definition for 86?
That must be where the neo-Nazis are.
The neon?
Or the neon Nazis.
They do like to rave with 86.
Oons, 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 oons.
Kill any.
You don't think it
what
might
are they
let
killing?
me tell you
Wait,
let me just tell you what happened after James Comey's post. A gentleman posted that about me. He posted on Twitter 86 Haba.
Okay.
And he was also charged. He was charged in Florida and he was held accountable because you cannot do it. Now, this is an FBI director. We have responsibilities. You guys have responsibilities not to call the president certain things or say things that could incite violence. I most certainly think after Saturday, I have a completely new perspective on how important our voices are and how we use them.
Can I mention one thing that Matt Gaetz?
Okay. This is not the same at all. Let's look. Alina, you said that he was found accountable for doing the same exact thing. Let's see. Orlando man indicted for making online threats against the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey. United States Attorney Gregory W. Kehoe announced the unsealing of an indictment charging Salvatore Rosado, 58, in Orlando, with threatening to injure and kill the victim, the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey, Alina Habba, and with retaliating against a federal law enforcement officer by threat. If convicted on both counts, Rosado faces a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. Let's read what he did. According to the indictment, on May 19th, 2025, Rosado made a threat to injure and kill the victim in a series of postings from an online account belonging to him. Specifically, Rosado stated, among other things, a slow and painful death for Habba. Did Comey do that? Doesn't sound like the same thing.
Check live chat when you're done.
Eliminate Habba. 86 traitor, death penalty for all traitors. Is that the same thing as what James Comey put? And I hope you die a painful death. Did James Comey do that? By chance? Stop, what is this? Oh shit, what is this? Okay, so we have the thesaurus for 86. Synonyms: cast aside, cast off, chuck, discard, reject, throw away, throw out, toss out. So not kill. Okay.
She also would not do well on TikTok or YouTube because this morning, I shit you not, one of the comments I had was 86 Olive.
And dictionary.com, 86, a cardinal number, 80 plus 6. A symbol for this number is 86 or Roman numerals. A set of this many things or things. Slang, a customer considered undesirable or unwelcome and refused service at a bar or restaurant. Oh no.
That's the crappy part about Merriam-Webster, though, is they update the dictionary so often that they will change the definition.
Shit. Yeah.
And then by the time it makes it to fucking trial, they're going to bring up the damn dictionary.
But this is not the same thing. So she lied. Okay, glad we got that she lied. Let me move these over, because yes, they will be a part of sources, because we do that here.
also used that 86 many times, and nothing happened to him.
Well, I think we look at everything. I'll be honest with you. Absolutely everything is in context. I don't think anybody is immune to it. I don't think we should be sitting here and nobody has condemned Jimmy Kimmel for his comments. Those were despicable.
Joy pointed out earlier, and the president also.
Coyote, again, in regards to the SPLC, we are going to keep going through this. You said they are being indicted and they are you said that you should read the whole thing and stop asking me. I literally have to hold your hand. It's at the top of the page. You think that there's only one indictment at the top of the page of the SPLC? Did you read those 14 pages, honey?
He only made it to the top of the page.
I don't think you read it. Because there's not just one indictment. There's multiple in there for different things. What are the things for? And you said they are being indicted and they are alleged of funding hate groups. That's not what they're being indicted for.
Blue said none of that said kill, but I want Blue to know that there's multiple ways you can read.
Just like you can do math.
Yeah, kind of like percentages.
Posted death to Democrats. Do you think the president should be held responsible for that?
When I'll do respect. I haven't seen that post. I will tell you what I did see.
It does exist.
Okay, what I can tell you is this, and who was the Attorney General and the DOJ at that point?
Probably Pam Bondi, no?
Yeah.
No. Here's how I feel about this.
What?
Here's directly how I feel about this. Nobody should be inciting violence, period. That's my perspective.
Including the president.
But you have to remember something. The Department of Justice brings real cases. We are not Jack Smith. We are not Letitia James. We bring real cases against people.
Oh. Except that they brought cases. They brought real cases. They got indictments. That happened. Cry harder.
I know.
Those cheekbones are giving Jigsaw.
They
Sorry.
all do it. They all do it. The buccal
Like, where's her little
fat, stop
tricycle?
doing it. Just age gracefully. God damn.
Just rolling down the hallway.
Had the pleasure of serving as a former federal prosecutor at the Department of Justice. But let me ask you this. I do believe that this is a vindictive prosecution against Comey, directed by the president. And so far, with little success, because he's done this many times. As Trump's personal attorney, you actually were sanctioned nearly $1 million for filing a frivolous civil lawsuit against Comey, against Hillary Clinton and others, that a federal judge called political grievances masquerading as legal claims. So why should anyone believe this pattern of targeting Trump's enemies is about justice and not revenge?
If you think that the
David Bass, I agreed with you. I agree. The View is a washed-up show. I even said. So the fact that Alina Habba gets owned on The View is embarrassing as fuck for them. By the way, Kaio, I hope you come back tomorrow. You said that you would like to be talking, you see yourself as talking to the host and nobody else. And what I'm going to tell you is you could do that if you would have called the number. So I would advise you tomorrow to come back. I come on at the same time, 10 a.m. Mountain Time every single day. And if you would like to talk about the SPLC, I would love to talk about the SPLC with you. Yes, there are people on my panel. You can't hear them. They can't hear, or they can hear you, but you can't hear them. So the fact that they're there doesn't necessarily mean anything. So I'd love for you to come talk to me about it tomorrow. Absolutely. Love to go through that with you.
The Russian collusion hoax, if you think that the things that
Not a
we've now
hoax.
seen evidence.
It wasn't a hoax. There were like 37 indictments that came out of that investigation. So it wasn't a hoax because we found crime.
Of in this Department of
Yes,
Justice
Dan.
aren't real. I just tell you to sit tight because things are coming. Because what
Oh, you said you're not talking to me. Well, that's too bad because I'm talking to you.
they did was weaponize.
You're a coward.
I don't want to hear about weaponization because the reason you all know who I am is because of weaponization. I sat through targeting people saying we're going to get Trump. And then a Hillary Clinton appointed judge sanctioned me for suing Hillary Clinton. By the way, I'm proud of it.
Just a question. Can Hillary Clinton appoint judges? Ever? Could she ever? Was she ever in a position?
No.
A Hillary Clinton appointed judge.
that. Well, I'm proud of what I did.
Actually,
because it was the right thing to do.
let me get a list.
congressional blue slip. I don't know what that is, Law. I'll have to look that up. That's silly. My God.
We're gonna have to fight the comments, by the way, talking shit about Mountain Time.
Look, there was a comedian who said it does sound like when you're talking about like vacation time, right? Like, I'm on mountain time. Like, it doesn't sound real.
I mean, that's kind of how people here live.
Oh,
That's
senators can recommend appointment of judges to the judiciary. Oh,
That's why you hate how I live my life. You're like type A, you always want to be on time, but I'm just running on mountain time.
I'm always on time though.
I've been early the last few days.
Coyote, my mods have free reign over there. They are allowed to be tyrants over there. This is not a democracy space. Sorry. Non-affiliate. Yeah, we covered that at the beginning. Talking about the fact that, again, you guys got duped. You guys got conned.
Coyote needs to stop procrastinating and pay attention to those 14 pages he's trying to read.
I know. You just got to the first page. You should probably work on that.
Eli, you are 4 minutes past. You still didn't send your heart me. I'm coming for that ass.
That sounds like something you guys need to do in your DMs and not up here, but I'm just gonna say that.
You gross.
He's got a man shed.
Oh my God! Go away. Go away. All right. So that's how.
Bye.
Eli said pause. Mia's supposed to go live, so we're gonna get ready to do that. Again, I really want to get through my Hegseth segment at some point, but he's saying the same bullshit he's been saying. I still had stuff on immigration, on Lee Zeldin, Linda McMahon, and Doug Burgum to get through, but I knew we were going to be behind because, unfortunately, this shit never stops. So it's just constant, and we will keep up with it as best we fucking can. So while I wait for her to go live, I want to thank you to Kelly for knocking out such a huge portion of that goal. Thank you so much. And to Shauna for finishing it out today. I appreciate you. Again, as I said, we had to pay Snap back today. Audrey, I will answer your question about that in a minute. So this covered that. So thank you guys so much for that, because oh my God. And it's the only reason it pisses me off, I'm not mad that we have to repay them if they overpaid us. Duh. What's frustrating is that we called them when we got that amount in November because it was way higher than we had ever gotten. We literally called them to say, hey, are you sure this is the right amount? Because it seems like a lot. And they were like, yeah. So, like, it's even more frustrating because we fucking called you to double check. But it's fine. We paid it back. Fuck off. Hopefully our application goes through this time because I have 2 kids. And they're expensive to feed. So, all right. Is she live? Let's see. No. Where are you? I have to message her and yell at her. And guys, don't forget, I will send you to Raid, but I will still be live for a little bit, because I'm going to try and mess with this. I like this what am I looking to say? This design. I like the way this looks. I just need to make the thing a little bigger, and see what else I need to kind of shift. So I'm going to look at that one.
Oh, there's a timer in the top right corner.
Layout.
Or left corner.
There's a what?
Does anybody else see the timer, or is it just me? Am I seeing things?
Well, let me go to I gotta go to my backup account again.
Top left corner.
What is that? Oh, like a treasure chest thing?
No, what?
I have a super fan box that unlocks, but I don't know what that is.
Oh, it unlocks in 2 minutes.
Oh, my stomach.
Oh, see, I just don't see the box.
Oh, their box thing is missing.
My box is gone.
Now we gotta wait. Yeah, because Peter did. Now we gotta wait. Let me see if I can set this up over here while I'm doing that.
But guys, keep doing the good things. Also, thank you guys so much for the support this week. I feel like we haven't had to like vent. I think that's a good word, vent, and talk about how the support has been, but you guys have really knocked it out of the park, and we
Yeah.
all appreciate it.
No, it's been
You
really
guys were able to help me do a good payment off on bullshit that happened, but you know what? It's fine.
Oh my god. Zaya, I'm gonna mispronounce this. Zaya Maruka. You said if you have to drive one car for the rest of your life, what would it be? For me, some sort of Subaru, because they're good cars, or a Honda.
Something with an engine.
Something with an engine. Well, like a Subaru. Subarus are really good cars. Hondas last a long time, so a Honda would be good, of some kind. Oh my god, jeez, my stomach. It's ridiculous. So that would be nice. Blue's good too.
I would like
You can
one.
too.
I would like one with an engine and one with tires.
Hello.
Hello.
Who was it? Kendris Davis. I don't know how to pronounce it. Kendris Davis wanted to quote scripture at us in chat. So I wanted to quote something back, a scripture back at them. Psalms 109, 8 through 19. May his days be few. May another take his place of leadership. May his children be fatherless and his wife a widow. May his children be wandering beggars. May they be driven from their ruined homes. May a creditor seize all he has. May strangers plunder the fruit of his labor. May no one extend kindness to him or take pity on his fatherless children. May his descendants be cut off, their names blotted out from the next generation. May the iniquity of his fathers be remembered before the Lord. May the sin of his mother never be blotted out. May their sins always remain before the Lord, that he may blot out their name from the earth. For he never thought of doing a kindness, but hounded to death the poor, and the needy, and the brokenhearted. He loved to pronounce a curse. May it come back on him. He found no pleasure in blessing. May it be far from him. He wore cursing as his garment. It entered into his body like water, into his bones like oil. May it be like a cloak wrapped about him, like a belt tied forever around him.
Amen. On that note, thank you guys so much. W, thank you, Peter. Your box opened and Dragon's Kelp became a super fan. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. So yes, we are going to raid Maniacal Mia.
That's how babies are made.
That's how babies are made. We're gonna raid Maniacal Mia. I already have it set up on the YouTube, Twitch. I'm sorry, I don't have a place for you to send for Twitch right now, but that's okay. If you want to go jump over to YouTube, real quick, it'll send you over there once I end. So I appreciate y'all. Let me pin that. And guys, remember, you're going to see me live still for a second, but that's okay. I want y'all to leave. Go support Mia. Do all of the good things. Tap the screen really hard like you did for me. Get her to 100,000 likes. I would love to see that. Do your daily heart me's, share it out, support her and everything that she's doing, because we love Mia and she is supportive of me and this community. So, well, I mean, that's fine. You can do that too. I didn't kick you. I didn't do it. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. I love y'all very much. Go raid Mia.